Hey guys, I thank you guys for being here in short notice, and this is actually a very critical moment in mankind. What's been happening is that the temperature has been declining lately. Very rapid drop in temperatures, as well as different social lifestyles have changed a lot. So I'm really glad you guys have come here, representing different parts of the world, even Korea, Indonesia right here, and one of our graduates here from MIT is right here to help us out with this. What happened is, just to let you guys give a basic briefing about why we're here. Back in the Second World War, we actually had a genome project in the United States that actually gave birth to a lot of scientific development in the present right now that we actually use. What we're going to do is actually we're going to create the next generation. This project is actually the venom project. What we're going to do is actually create the next generation of mankind. Just to give you guys a briefing about that is, as we know, we're actually going for extinct as the years pass by, and we want to create a species that will carry our genes, but in a scientific way of doing that. What lately I've come into consideration and through a lot of research is that venom project right here represents the future, and what we're going to do is actually we're going to create a species. The primary goal of this is destruction in 2012, and with that there's going to be a lot of dead bodies, a lot of dead people, and we might actually be there, families might be there. So the environment basically is going to be in this project is dead bodies. We're going to create a species that would come through that, what we're going to extract from our current research and put it in the civilization, put it in the system. Later when 2012 comes and everything goes down, all our organisms will harvest. So we're going to do a few research and come to the conclusion of what we should do. Okay. To start with all the research and the material that I've been exposed to, I've come to a special structure of the animal. The animal is a complex structure, just to let you guys know. It is very similar to the sperm cell. I'll tell you why. To start off with, you are actually in a dead body. That is the environment. And in that environment, a lot of hardship goes through the species because it is a very toxic environment. In a dead body is not that friendly. A lot of bacteria, fungi in it. So we're going to use all the existing aspects in the dead body. That makes us to produce this much easier, because what this chimera is basically going to do is that it's going to use the environment. Matt, seems like you have one.
So basically we're going to develop a chimera?
Basically, yes. Definition of chimera,
yeah, in my opinion, I think that our biggest problem is the reproduction.
Reproduction system. Yeah, definitely. It's actually going to be one of our biggest problems. Yes, right.
I have never developed an organism in this kind of environment.
Definitely, but that is your specialty, and that's why we're all here. What's basically going to happen is to start off with your chimera. Our chimera is actually going to have different species, traits. We are genetically going to alter. We're going to take different species, add their different traits that are stronger. Reproductive system, like you said. Some species develop asexually, sexually, and through internal fertilization. We're going to take everything into consideration when we create this. And out of that, next discussion actually is leading up to that. Yes, Roy?
How is this organism going to reproduce?
Okay, what we're going to do, what do you think? How do you think this organism should reproduce?
I really have no idea.
Okay, what about you? Anything you have to say, man?
I think it should have male genitalia and female genitalia.
Okay, hermaphrodite, basically, that is what it is.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that, I do agree with you. What the advantage of that will actually be for us is that given in a stressed environment, which the environment is going to be, what we're going to mainly do is we're going to get our chimera, we're going to extract it, we're going to put it in the air. And all human beings are going to inhale it, it's going to be in their system, and it's going to harvest until 2012. When that time reaches, that is when the full harvesting period is done. So you first get in the human body through the air, and once you get there, the decomposition of a human being is what triggers the sexual reproduction. In a stressed environment, the production is actually going to be sexual, like you said. Until then, in the human body, until destruction has started yet, it's going to be a sexual reproduction, which is going to be much more neutralized through that. Yes.
So it's like a sperm in the air. It goes
definitely, it is going to be airborne. It goes through. The human being is going to inhale it. All animals are going to inhale it. It's going to go through the system. It's going to be harvested. It's going to be harvested asexually, because you do not want budding. You don't want mating. What you want to do is have. The next focus that we're actually going to go through is actually fertilization right here. Yes.
Hold on, I have a question.
Yes.
From asexual and to sexual reproduction, how do the gamete be though?
Yes, what we're going to do, that is actually the most critical part when we start making our species, is how the gametes are going to meet. As I covered before for Matt's question that he had, first, I'll show you guys how it's going to happen. Let's say this is the human structure. Air comes in, and we actually going to have the altered species in air. Species comes inside. Through air, you go to the lungs. So the lungs actually are going to be the resting place for the species for the longest time. Assuming that now it is 2010, we have 2 years to get this done. We get it in here, and they actually have asexual reproduction for the next 2 years. When that is done, and the body, 2012, the great disaster comes in, and the human goes down. When that happens, you actually have different stages of decomposition. The first stage actually is that you do die, and the second stage is the vaporizing. That is when the acids are created in the human body. That is going to put stress under the species right here. When that happens, the stressed environment, asexual reproduction has a tremendous conversion for sexual reproduction. Yes?
So during the decomposition of the human body, the sexual reproduction starts.
Definitely, you definitely got that. So one of our biggest challenges are going to be in the general species in the human body, bacteria, fungi. They actually have the hardest time because they are the decomposers. Yes.
So even if after the human die, the organism is still live in their
Definitely, that is when the organism starts sexual reproduction. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to have an X component and a Y component in DNA in our species right here. What we're basically going to do is we're going to start a new race of human beings through the decomposition, and our chimera is going to be leading us to the next generation. As far as your question, yes.
Does it affect the body at all?
Yes, definitely. The bodies will be decomposed, and it is definitely going to rot. When that happens, what the next step is, like you said, fertilization, that is when the sexual reproduction starts. Like I said, we have an X, Y, and X right here. I'm sure in your previous experiments you guys have done Punnett squares, and you basically determine the sex of the chimera that comes out of here. That chimera will be harvested. That chimera will eat the human body. So basically our chimera is going to be a combination of fungi.
Start.
Alright, so these are the specs that I believe that venom should have.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. What do you guys think?
I agree. It looks like he has a lot of pretty legit organisms in there.
Great. What do you think?
But I have one question. How long this lifespan of this?
Lifespan? Okay. I'll explain that shortly. But I do understand where you're coming from. Done the research of all this. Okay. That's where it starts. What we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to get the species in the human being inside. We're going to use air, and air is going to carry it out. What we're also going to use is the malaria parasite. The malaria parasite is what's going to get our chimera, venom, to the human body. The malaria parasite is carried out by the mosquito. We're going to harvest venom, we're going to put it in the mosquitoes, and then we're going to let it out. And that is when the malaria parasite will go drop venom in the human body to start the asexual reproduction. Volvox right here absorbs energy through sun and water. So now our other side of how to get the species in the human body is going to be by air. So we're going to use the ability of absorbing energy from sun and water from Volvox right here to venom as well. That's what you meant, right? Okay, great. The protists reproduce sexually. So we're going to use the aspect of reproduction in a sexual base of protists to have, once 2012 happens, and when the harvesting occurs, we're going to use the protist ability to reproduce sexually. To move right here, the bacteria basically lives in anything, needs no parental care. The bacteria is what decomposes. The 4 steps, like you said, of a dead animal or a dead body would be the fresh, you bloat, you decay, you die. The bacteria kicks in when the bloating occurs, and that is when the bacteria's aspect, including this. This is what happens with this and this. Malaria bugs is what gets chimera venom to the human body, the living human body, and then the dead body, bacteria is what harvests it during the bloating period. When the bacteria's harvesting period needs no parental care, could live in anything, you combine the aspect of this with the products reproduced sexually, and that's when the domino effect occurs, and asexual reproduction is transferred to a sexual reproduction. The mushroom has fungi. We're going to use the mushroom fungi's ability to sexual and in dead organic materials to compose and decompose